Hello, everyone. I'm Madison. Welcome back to Tiny English Talks, the podcast where we grow, learn, and find new confidence one English word at a time. Sometimes people ask me, Madison, why do you love learning and speaking other languages so much? And I always smile because for me, speaking another language feels like flying. It gives you freedom to connect, to explore, and to express yourself in a new way. Before we begin, if you enjoy improving your English and want to support this podcast, please give it a quick like. It really helps more people find us. Thank you so much. Now, let's begin. Today's topic is the freedom of speaking another language. I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Yes, even if you're walking, maybe not completely close them, but imagine this. You're in a new country, sitting in a cozy cafe. You hear people around you speaking a language that once sounded impossible to understand, but now you understand them. You can join the conversation. You can order your coffee. You can make a new friend. That, my friend, is freedom. When you speak another language, you open a new world inside yourself. You start to see things differently, not only words, but also emotions, cultures, and ways of thinking. It's like having two hearts and two minds living together in harmony. I still remember the first time I spoke English with a native speaker. My hands were shaking, my heart was beating so fast. But when I said my first full sentence, something changed. I realized, this is it. This is not just learning grammar or vocabulary. This is living differently. Many people think learning a new language is just about studying books, repeating words, or passing exams. But it's not only about that. Learning a language is learning to be brave. It's learning to make mistakes and still smile. It's learning to keep going when you forget a word or when someone doesn't understand you. You see, every time you speak in another language, you're doing something powerful. You're breaking the walls of fear. You're telling your brain, I can do this. And with every sentence, you become freer. Let me tell you something personal. When I started learning Spanish, I felt so small. People around me spoke so fast, like bullets of words flying through the air. I wanted to understand, but my brain was like, wait, too fast. I made mistakes every day. Sometimes I said funny things. Sometimes people laughed, but kindly. And every time I learned a little more. After a few months, something magical happened. I stopped thinking about every single word. I started feeling the language. I could talk about my dreams, my ideas, and my life. That's when I realized this is not about perfect grammar. This is about connection. When you speak another language, you're not only learning how to talk, you're learning how to understand others. You start to see how people express love, sadness, and joy in different ways. You begin to understand the world with more kindness. Imagine talking with someone from the other side of the planet, someone who grew up completely different from you, and still finding something in common. That's the true beauty of languages. It connects hearts. And you know what? Speaking another language also gives you confidence in your own language. You start noticing how you use words, how you sound, how you express feelings. You become more creative, you become more patient. You even start to enjoy your mistakes because every mistake means you're learning. So if you ever feel nervous about speaking English, don't worry. Every confident speaker you hear today once felt exactly like you do now. No one starts fluent. Everyone starts afraid. But the difference between those who give up and those who succeed is simple. They keep speaking. They keep trying. They keep believing that one day they'll get there. Think about this. When you were a baby, you didn't know any words. You just listened, you watched, you repeated sounds, you made mistakes. And look at you now. You speak your first language fluently. So learning English is not a race, it's a journey. And on this journey, every small step counts. Every podcast you listen to, every sentence you write, every conversation you have, it all builds your freedom. Sometimes people ask me, Madison, when will I finally speak fluently? And I tell them, the moment you stop being afraid to speak. Fluency is not perfection. Fluency is freedom. It's the ability to express yourself without fear. You don't need to sound like a native. You need to sound like you. Your voice matters. Your accent is part of your story. It shows courage. So next time you speak, don't hide it. Celebrate it. Because every sound, every word you say is proof that you are growing. Let's think about what language gives us. It gives us new songs to listen to, new movies to understand, new books to read, new people to love. It even changes how we think about life. When you learn English, you're not just learning how to speak, you're learning how to see. You start to notice little things in the world that you never saw before. A new word, a new joke, a new dream. And that's the real freedom of speaking another language. It opens your eyes. You know, sometimes people are afraid of sounding funny or making grammar mistakes. But let me ask you something. When a child learns to speak, do you laugh at them? No, you smile and encourage them. You say, "Good job, you're learning." So why not do the same for yourself? Be your own supporter. Be kind to yourself. Every day you practice, you are one step closer to the best version of yourself. Let me leave you with this thought. The more languages you speak, the more lives you live. Each language gives you a new way to think, a new way to love, a new way to dream. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now. Speak today. Even if it's just one sentence, say it out loud. You'll feel the power of your own voice, because your words have power. Your language journey is not just about English. It's about confidence, connection, and courage. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, The Freedom of Speaking Another Language. I hope this talk gives you motivation to keep learning and to keep speaking, because the world needs your voice. If you enjoyed this episode, please like this podcast and subscribe to my channel, Inkwell Stories, for more inspiring English talks. And don't forget, you can download today's vocabulary list and full script as a free PDF in the description below. Keep learning, keep speaking, and always keep shining with your words. See you in the next episode.